Hey everybody, this is Matt. I'm making a new Heroclix video and it's 2020 and I'm making a video and I didn't know I'd be making videos anymore, but let's just do this thing. So this video is going to be talking about support powers and the pieces that have them. And the reason I'm making this video is because we have gotten some newer, recently young kids coming playing at the game in my local venue. And one of the things I'm trying to teach them is the importance of support powers and how good they are in making your team work really well. I feel a lot of times they're just reaching for what pieces look the coolest or characters they really like. And you can do that sometimes, but you also have to be able to incorporate the support powers to enhance those pieces and make sure those pieces work really well in the game. So this video is going to be probably one of various videos that are going to be talking about support powers and the pieces that have them. I'm going to be making other videos in the future that's going to be talking about what the support powers do, like probability control, Perplex and Outwit, Telekinesis and support, stuff like that, and why they're really useful and why you should try to incorporate them onto your team. So this video right here, it's just going to be talking about 10 figures that have a bunch of these support powers that are really cheap on eBay, so they're not going to break your wallet under any circumstance, that are legal in the modern age format as of January 2020. This video is being made before the Captain America set comes out, before the DC Universe set comes out, before we get the Fantastic Four starter. So there could be pieces in those sets that may jump to the list on this, jump to the top of the list that I'm making right now. But right now, as of January 2020, these are the pieces I would recommend every single player, new, old, experienced, brand new, starting out the game, to jump on eBay and buy them up. Get them a part of your collection, get them a part of your accessory list, so that you can incorporate them into various teams that you make going for it. So let's jump into this. The way I've organized this is I've organized it by point cost. I didn't want to do like this is the best support piece or this is the worst support piece. I wanted to do it by point cost because that's an easy way to just illustrate, this is the cheapest support piece that I would recommend and this is the more expensive one. Like I said, I'm capping it at 50 points because I feel like once you get to 50 points, you're kind of already starting to look at like this is a secondary attacker on the team or something more than just what a support piece is, even though a support piece can also be a secondary attacker too. So the first piece I want to look at is the cheapest one, and that is Big Tony, and he is a common from the Harley Quinn and the Gotham Girl set. He is 004 in the set. So again, these are all going to be super cheap pieces. You're going to be able to go on eBay and probably find them for about $1. That's what I was trying to shoot for. Some may be upwards of $2. Whoa, but it should all be about $1 to $2. Big Tony is 15 points. He's 15 points. There's not going to be anybody else on the list that'll be below 20 points other than this guy. And that's one of the main reasons he's on the list. 15 points is so cheap. You think about, he's not bringing a whole lot to the table for 15 points, but think about for 45 points, you could run 3 Big Tonys. And Big Tony, he has Perplex. That's one of those support powers we were talking about. But this is the downside to it. They can't just give him regular old Perplex. They have to give him Perplex, but only to target adjacent friendly characters. So that means he has to be next to the friendly character he wants to Perplex. That's a limitation. It really is. But you're getting a Perplex off, which is really nice. He also has some other bells and whistles. He has 4 range. That's not bad. I mean, he has a 9 attack, which means you're going to be struggling a little bit to shoot somebody. But, I mean, he can maybe shoot somebody. Underworld team ability is useful. Now, that team ability allows you to carry friendly characters that are lower point totals or if you share a keyword with them. That means if you're Gotham City Underworld theme team, Big Tony can be carrying much bigger guys around. Or maybe if you can somehow give him another keyword, he can be carrying other people around. He has sidestep, so that in carrying is always useful. but for the most part, you're mainly going to be using him for Perplex, for his free action Perplex. That only can target adjacent friendly characters. He's 15 points. You could run 2 of them, you could run 3 of them, and it's still not going to break the bank of your team. So that's why he is the first one I want to talk about. Again, these are not by better or worse listing, just by point total. The second piece I want to talk about is Billy Batson. He is 20 points. He is from the Rebirth set. He's an uncommon. So he can be played at 40 points or 20 points. Right now, the 40-point version, it will transform into Shazam, but we're not talking about that. I mean, that's something down the line that if you want to incorporate that and pay 40 points for him, you can do that. But right now, we're just talking about using them for support purposes. And for 20 points, you get a Perplex piece. As you can see on its first click, he has Perplex. He has Perplex, he has Willpower, he even has his weird little, speed power. The beginning of the turn, you may choose an opposing character within 4 squares in line of fire until your next turn. The character can't be given free actions. So that's interesting because normally you don't want to have your support pieces up near the front of the battlefield, because then they'll just get one-shotted and free points for the opponent. But Billy Batson does have a stop click on his third click. That means when he's taking damage, if he gets clicked onto his third click, he stops taking damage. So your opponent then has to reassess and go, okay, for 20 points, am I going to try to put 2 attacks into Billy Batson? And maybe even more, because he has shape change on the same click as his stop click. So they may go for the second attack to finish him off, and you may get the shape change, meaning that attack cannot target him. So it's kind of a nuisance at that point. So the opponent's going for 20 points. I could take out his Perplex piece, but really, what is he doing for, should I go after him? So I could see Billy Batson actually being up there in the middle of the battle and being kind of just a nuisance, and you get to choose a character within 4 squares of line of fire, and they can't be given free actions. So that's like Perplex, that's like Outwit. Probability control is not an action though, so you can't stop that. But free actions like Sidestep and stuff, that could limit, if your opponent's running like a one-man army piece that has like Sidestep and Outwit and Perplex and all this kind of stuff, you can be like, boom, you can't be given free actions. Not only that, I wonder if Charge and Running Shot are free or at no cost now. I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm not going to say that. I wanted to say something, but until I clarify that, I'm not going to mention it. But Perplex, Outwit, Sidestep, stuff like that, they wouldn't be able to do that if they got affected by this. So that's an interesting little effect. And again, he's a nuisance because they can't just one-shot him and get 20 points. I mean, if they have Pulse Wave, maybe. Not really. I think stops Pulse Wave. Anyways, he's a nuisance. If you ever do end up with a Shazam from Rebirth, you may think about playing him for 40 points and just be like, yeah, knock me onto this thing and transform me into Shazam. That'd be fun. But for 20 points, a Perplex piece that's nuisance, that's not going to be easily one-shotted, he's not bad. Third piece I want to talk about is 25 points, Alex Wilder. This piece is nuts. I'm just going to preface that by saying that he is an uncommon, 25 points from Secret World Battle World set. He is unique. The developers know this piece is nuts, and they're not going to let you run 2 of this piece on a team. That's what that silver circle, silver border around a piece means. It's unique, means you can only run 1 of that piece on a team. And that's because he has this thing called several steps ahead of you, you just don't know it. So you give him a free action. An opponent chooses 2, Outwit, Perplex, or Probability Control. That's like the 3 main support powers. Alex Wilder can use the chosen powers until your next turn. So the way me and my local players do it, we go, what power will Alex Wilder not have? Because that's a great way of looking at it. I think the developers, you're like, oh, he's only 25 points, but that's because your opponent gets to choose what power he doesn't get to have. But he still gets 2 of the support powers at all times. That's huge. For 25 points, there's not another piece in the game that can do that. It's really nuts. So so if he hangs back, a lot of times support pieces hang back and try to just support pieces from behind them in a game. A lot of times you can just choose like give them Outwit because they're going to be hanging back. They're probably not going to be able to be up close in the combat to outwit an opposing piece. And then you probably want to give them like Perplex or something so that they can't re-roll their attacks or anything. But still, I mean, you're giving them Outwit and Perplex, you know, and that's, I don't think there's almost anybody else on this top 10 list that has access to 2 support powers at the same exact time. I may be wrong. I have not, this is not planned. I have not written this down. There may be another piece later on that does have access to 2 support powers at the same time. But again, Alex Wilder does all that and more. He has traded stealth. He also gets sidestep if an opposing character is within 4 squares. That's interesting, like if an opposing character tries to come at him, or if he gets just a little bit too close, he can try to sidestep away. He also has this interesting trait, and I think this is part of the reason why they made him 25 points. He has a traitor trait. Basically, he gives him shape change. So if an opponent tries to come at him, he has one out. He has a shape change. He also has Mastermind, but, you know, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to... I don't know. Some people may Mastermind damage off of him onto someone bigger. I guess if you had the right sponge piece to Mastermind damage onto. But anyways, shape change. Once per force, when he gets KO'd, you do not remove him from the game. Instead, he joins the opponent's team on the starting click. So that's interesting, but you know, that rarely comes into effect, and even when it does, it rarely like swings the game in someone's direction. A lot of times the opponent's just like, okay, I'll KO him right back and he'll be right back on my team on the first click. I mean, it's not, the whole traitor trait is something that WizKids is trying to do, and I'm not sure if they're really succeeding in doing it. I don't know if it's really becoming like, you know, like, oh, that's a real negative. That's why that piece's cost is so lower than normal, because it's a real negative. Not really. It's really not. I really haven't seen it really swing any big games. So Alex Wilder is nuts. 25 points is super, super cheap. He's not really going to be attacking. Not really. But he's 25 points. You don't need a 25-point attacker. He has stealth, so he's easy to hide. He has support powers, 2 out of 3 at all times, so he's always going to be useful in some capacity. And I would recommend, again, all these pieces, get your hands on them. They're going to be super cheap on eBay. Get your hands on them, and you only need one. You only need one Alex Wilder, because you can only play one. So definitely get your hands on that piece. The 4th piece I want to talk about is Ensign Crusher. Now this dude is from a Star Trek set. This whole time we've been talking about pieces from the main DC Marvel sets. This is from a Star Trek set. This is from Resistance is Futile, the Star Trek. So this is the first of the 2 Star Trek Gravity Feed sets that came out last year. The one that had the the Super Rare Prime Q that's like $200 or something on eBay right now. So this one's from the set that's probably a little bit harder to get your hands on. The other one, the Bowley Go set, that one didn't have a Super Rare Prime in it, so its value tanked pretty hard, and it's being sold pretty low wherever you can find it. But this is from the first set, the first Gravity Feed. So this comes from a Gravity Feed cube box, not from like a 5-figure booster set, but it's still very cheap on eBay. He's 25 points. He starts out with Perplex. As you can see, he bounces onto Enhancement, which can still be useful. He has United Federation of Planets team ability. I don't even know what it is. I did not plan for this video good enough to even know what it is. I think it's something. I don't know. Anyways, he has a trait. No, wrong trait. He has a special attack power. I got it, Captain. Once per turn, when a friendly character that's adjacent or has the Starfleet keyword rolls for leadership, shape change, super senses, or impervious, they may re-roll that roll. Now, that's interesting because it's kind of like probability control, but probability control cannot allow you to re-roll those rolls. So that's the reason I included him on this list. He's cheap. He's 25 points, which is super cheap. But also, having Perplex on top of a semi-probability control is really, really nice. And it doesn't require the keyword, the Starfleet keyword, if you're adjacent. And that allows him to be played on different kinds of teams. Teams that the impervious roll. You could put him next to a Superman, and then that gives you 2 chances to roll impervious to reduce damage to 0. That's really freaking nice. That's really nice. Put him next to a Spider-Man. Gives him 2 chances to roll that 5/6 for super senses. Put him next to someone that you really need leadership to hit. That gives him 2 chances to reroll the leadership. There's not a lot of things in the game that allow you to reroll those rolls, and this dude does for 25 points on top of giving you Perplex. It's really nifty. I gotta say, it's really nifty, and I want to try it out on my own time. I haven't really collected any of the Star Trek pieces, but I really like to try this piece out and just see what the reroll effect does. And he has it his entire dial. Even if he loses Perplex, the enhancement's still going to be useful for like range attacks and stuff. And maybe his team ability is useful. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into it. But he has scientist keyword, and I might play him on a scientist theme team or something. Okay. Next piece, the 5th piece I want to talk about. I like this dude. He is Everett K. Ross. He's 30 points. He's an uncommon from the Avengers Black Panther Illuminati set, 027. He has a lot of stuff going for him actually, but the main reason he's on the list is because he has Perplex. He has Perplex his entire dial, 4 clicks long, but he also has a special kind of Perplex. He can modify the chosen value +2. Any value +2. Sometimes these powers say like, you can modify a combat value other than damage +2. Not Everett K. Ross. Everett K. Ross can modify damage +2. So if you have a piece that has like 12 attack but like 2 damage, Everett K. Ross can make him do 12 attack, 4 damage. Or if you have a piece that has 10 attack, 4 damage, Everett Ross can give him 12 attack, 4 damage. Or if you have a piece that's just nuts like the new Ultron, it does 14 attack for 4 damage, you can make him do 14 attack for 6 damage. The +2 is really nice. You can also, you can boost up defense, anything. Now here's the caveat here. He can only modify the chosen combat value +2, so he can't do -2. I was thinking the other day, I think in one game I was trying to use him to modify the opponent's defense -2, and he does not do that. He only modifies a combat value +2. But still, that's very useful. That's great for 30 points. He's like 2 Big Tonys, but he doesn't have to be adjacent. Now there is a downside to it. If he does do the +2 Perplex, the double Perplex basically, at the end of your turn you roll a d6, and on a 1 through 4 he deals himself 1 unavoidable damage. But he has 4 clicks of life, and he has that power the entire dial, so he can do that and hurt himself 4 times before your opponent scores 30 little points. He also has a really nice team ability, shield team ability. What that means is if he's adjacent to a friendly character and they're making a range attack, they automatically get +1 range. Automatically. That means he could double Perplex up their range and then use the shield team ability to Perplex it up, to boost it up a 3rd time, and suddenly they have a +3 range. You know? Ooh. Team this dude up with Arno Stark. Oh, there we go. That new Arno Stark that can get to 12 range if he's standing still, with Everett K. Ross next to him. Double Perplex up the range, which is Arno Stark saying is a replacement value, so you replace and modify. That's one of the rules of the game. So you would replace with a 12, double Perplex up to a 14, and shield up to a 15. And now he has a 15 range now. And see, that's a great little use for him. Shield team ability also has another use. If you give him a power action, the adjacent friendly character that's making the range attack does +1 damage. And since Perplex is free, that means you can do all that in the same turn. He has stealth starting out, meaning you can hide him. He has willpower, meaning he can move around and he won't push himself to death. He bounces on the sidestep and even mastermind. This piece is just really good. I definitely get your hands on this piece because the double Perplex is really powerful. Back in the day when I was a young boy, people liked Red Leader, and people like Red Leader. He was a prime. He was 50 points, I believe, or 40 points or something. He was more points than this dude, and he double Perplexed as a power action. Back in my day, that was really powerful. This dude does it for free, and he's 30 points, and he has shield team ability. This dude's great. Politician keyword, I may do a politician theme team down the road. But shield is also great. Wakanda, we're getting more Wakanda pieces too. Dang, this guy has good keywords too. This dude is great. Get your hands on him. And you can play him on multiple too. You could like quadruple. No, you can't. Roll a 3, remember people. But still, you could like double perplex up multiple stats. That'd be really useful. Anyways, moving on. The 6th piece I want to talk about is Nico Minoru. She is a 40-point rare. So we're finally starting to get into some of these rares. This whole time we've been talking about commons and uncommons. Can you believe it? Just commons and uncommons. Who would have thought? Now we're getting into rares. Not purposefully, but this is just how it's going. 40-point rare from Secret World Battle World set number 45. She's 40 points, so they're starting to get a little bit more expensive. You know, we've gotten out of the 10s, we've gotten out of the 20s, now we've gotten out of the 30s, now we're in the 40s, and now we're starting talking about a bigger part of your team, a bigger portion of your team is going to these support pieces. So they need to kind of bring a little bit more to make up for their point cost. So Nico, you know, a lot like her friend Alex Wilder, has stealth traded and sidestep if she gets close to an opposing character. She has probability control, but it's kind of weird. So she can use probability control, but then once per turn, immediately after using probability control, you may choose to re-roll that roll again, and then it cannot be further re-rolled. If you do after resolutions, deal herself 1 unavoidable damage. That's just like, okay, I need this attack to hit no matter what, because this is going to swing the game so hard. And you miss, and you prob it with Nico, and you still miss, and you're like, okay, people, okay. Mega prob from Nico. She's going to hurt herself, but if this hits, you can't do dilly. You can't team prob it. The opponent can't. The opponent can't do anything. It cannot be further re-rolled. So that's nice. It's a double prob. It's a double prob that she can pull out. And she even, if she does it, she bounces onto an 18 willpower. Her defense actually goes up. But she loses the other reason why she's on this list, and that's because she has Telekinesis on her first click. Now, if you're looking at the actual figure, it's going to look gold, because a lot of time, because they messed up on this set, and a lot of the Nikos from this set have a gold color instead of a silver color. It looks like she has poison. She doesn't have poison. She has Telekinesis. But having Telekinesis and double prob is the reason she's on the list. That's just so useful. Like I said, Telekinesis and support. I also feel are very strong support powers. Support is a support power. Funny. Anyways, Telekinesis is a super useful power. It allows you to move your pieces around the field in ways that give them really good momentum. You know what I'm saying? You can TK out a piece that then can running shot and shoot somebody really far out. You can TK out a piece. You can TK up objects back into your starting area and then equip them all in one turn. TK is super useful. It's super useful in so many different ways. Have somebody running shot out, shoot somebody, then TK him back. It's so useful in so many different ways. And having probability control, not on top of that, a double probability control on top of Telekinesis for 40 points, willpower, so she can do it all again next turn. Yeah, I mean, she's super useful. And maybe you push her. Maybe you just continually push her and you bounce her on a regeneration and then you regen right back up the dial. Maybe, hopefully, I don't know. Useful. She has probability control her entire dial, so that's going to keep happening. Stealth, so you can hide her, so your opponent can't just run in shot and shoot her right away. She's pretty good. She's really good. And you know, as you're going to see with these rares, the rares are not more expensive than the commons and uncommons. It's really surprising how Nico, who is so good, can still be found for $1 on eBay. So get her. Just get her. Get her. Okay. Number 7. This is a weird one. The Rose. He is 40 points. He's another rare from the Earth X set 039. I don't think this is a piece that a lot of people think about when they think about support pieces, but you know, looking at all the pieces, I've looked at them before. I think I played them in a sealed game once. I really like him. I really do. I think he brings some fun and interesting things to the game, to a game. So again, he has probability control. Not a lot of pieces have probability control. I think if you look up and down this list, you'll see a lot of Perplex. You'll see some Outwits. You won't see a lot of probability control. He has spy keyword. Ooh, I didn't think about him for a spy theme team. That'd be cool. Hydra and Magia are okay keywords. So he has probability control, and stealth, so he can hide out and prob. He also has combat reflexes, meaning that if the opponent's like, okay, I can't shoot him, I'm gonna run up and punch him. At least he has a 19 defense if they try to run up and punch him. He has some chance to, survive. On top of that, he has shape change. So, they have to run up and punch him, and then he gets his shape change, and they're just sitting there looking dumb, So that's always fun. And then also, when he succeeds with shape change, you give him a mystery token. Remove a mystery token, this turn friendly characters named Hired Flunky have free move. So that builds into his other thing. He has leadership, which is useful but kind of not useful. It's useful because it gives you a guaranteed +1 action total. So in a 300 point game, you have 4 actions instead of 3. In a 400 point game, you have 5 actions instead of 4. It gives you a little bit of an advantage there. Also, he can remove action tokens with leadership, but they have to share a keyword with them if they're higher point total. Or they just have to be lower point total, which if he's 40 points, there may not be a lot of lower point total pieces. Anyways, he also has Mastermind, and if he uses leadership and succeeds, it doesn't mean he has to clear an action token. As long as you just roll a 5 or 6 with leadership. Let's say you can't remove an action token. Let's say, there's nobody on the team that shares a keyword with them. You can choose instead to generate 2 Hired Flunky bystanders. I should have put a picture of the Hired Flunky bystander on here. I may do that in After Effects or something. Anyways, they're not super strong by any means, but they're 2 bystanders that can get in the way, that can stick people up, slow people down, get in the way. And if he gets his shape change, if they do, try to go after him and he gets a shape change, then they can move out for free, which is nice. I don't believe the hired flunkies have autonomous, so they might. Again, I should have done my research, but anyways, this piece is interesting because he's probability control. Later on in his dial, he actually loses probability control and just kind of becomes like a New York crime boss. He's more about, at that point, shooting people, generating flunkies, and just trying to get in combat. But the first 2 clicks are really interesting, with the probability control, with the shape change, with the stealth, with the combat reflexes, the leadership going on. He brings a decent amount of extra stuff to the team that's why I put him on this list. He's not just a prob piece that just sits there and prob. He can do other stuff, especially spawning bystanders, which are going to be worth 0 points. They can get in the way. You can use them as cannon fodder. You can use them as meat shields. You can use them as all kinds of other stuff. So he's pretty interesting. Let's see. We were on to our 8th piece, Shade the Changing Girl. She is another rare from the Rebirth set, 45 points, number 44 in the set. So she is just a really complicated piece. He has all kinds of bells and whistles, but as you can see, she starts out with Perplex. She has Perplex for 3 clicks, and then has a really interesting Perplex for the last 3 clicks of her dial. So we were talking about Eric K. Ross and how that one game I really wanted to Perplex down somebody's defense -2. Well, you know what Shade can do? She can only target opposing characters with her Perplex that she gets later on in her dial. But when she does it, she can choose to instead modify a combat value other than damage -2 instead of -1. So she sees that opposing character over there with a 19 defense, whatever, maybe. And she's like, okay, now that's a 17 defense, and you are much more likely to hit it. And that is annoying. That is very annoying. She has traded shape change, so when they actually like, okay, I'm gonna kill her. No, shape change, boom, I got it. And if she succeeds with it, you may change the target to a character friendly to the attack character if it's a legal target. So that's always useful. That's fun, isn't that? She also has 17 ESD later on, so they're gonna have to be hitting a 19 for range if she does that. In the beginning of her dial, the first 3 clicks, I would say she's very much, I'm going to get right up in your face. I have plasticity, I have poison, I'm going to lock you up, I'm going to perplex you down, and you're going to have to try to hit my 18 defenses, and I'm going to have willpower, so I'm just going to keep following you around. Later on, after you hit her, she becomes, okay, I'm going to hold back, but I'm going to be perplexing down your attack -2, I'm going to be perplexing down your defense -2. Oh, that charge, you have a 5 charge? Guess what? Now you have a 3 charge. Ooh, take that. I bet you can't get to me now. Oh, you got to me? Shape change. Oh, but now you're punching your own friendly character. Booyah. For 45 points. The reason she's on this list, she only brings Perplex and maybe like a special kind of Perplex, but she is the most annoying piece that you'll run into in a battlefield for 45 points. She'll get right up in your face, and you don't want to mess with her. You want to focus on somebody else, but she's tying you up with plasticity. And you're like, well, I'm just gonna phase away. Well, guess what? She can phase away too. She's gonna lock you up. She's gonna force you to have to mess with her. And that's what's really, really interesting. For 45 points, like I said, she's bringing more than just a support power to the battle. She's bringing up a tie-up piece, a really strong tie-up piece that's going to be an annoying tie-up piece the entire game. Annoying, interrupting piece the entire game. And that's why I really like her. And again, you can get her for $1 on eBay. Get her. Why not? I don't see why not to get her on eBay. Get her. She's good. Okay, last 2 pieces I want to talk about. This is really interesting. Talia Al Ghul. She is 45 points. She is also a rare from the Batman animated series number 33. So she is really, really interesting. She's really, really interesting because she has 2 different styles to play here. She starts out on the first click where she has sidestep and stealth. You're supposed to, at the beginning of the game, choose, it's kind of weird. You're choosing a friendly character of higher points. I don't know if it's supposed to be her father or her beloved. Let's say beloved, because father would be kind of weird. So you're choosing a beloved person, a character that's higher points. Anybody that's like 50 points or higher can be her beloved. And when that character is KO'd, she gets mad. She turns into a running shot, outwit, psychic blast piece. But until then, she has sidestep, stealth, and probability control. She still has kind of that psychic blast, but only to target characters that are hindering terrain. So she has a little bit of offensiveness starting out, but starting out, she's very much, I'm going to support you from behind. I'm going to probability control your attacks. I'm going to share my 18 defense with you with defend. And she even has underworld. She has underworld team ability, which we talked about that with Big Al and how he didn't have a lot of cool keywords, so you really couldn't carry around a bunch of people. But Talia has a lot of really nice keywords, meaning that if you're near another assassin, another Batman family, another detective, another League of Assassins, another martial artist, or another spy, she can carry him around because she shares a keyword with them. And she's 45 points, so she's a little bit more expensive than Big Al was. So there's a possibility that she may share a keyword with 2 pieces and also be higher point total than those 2 pieces, and then she can carry both of them around. And that's always useful with sidestep. You can get a free 2 carry every turn, basically. So she is very supporty starting out. And then if her beloved dies, which, honestly, you could just send the beloved out and just have it cause a kamikaze or something, she turns into this running shot with outwit. So look at that. She has probability control and a possible outwit. That's really nice. Super Sense is 18 at the very end. Bounces on to shape change with ESD and goes back into hiding mode at the very end. She brings a whole lot to a battle. She really, really does. And Talia is probably the most expensive piece on this list. But I think if you look well enough on eBay, you'll probably be able to find her for $1, $1.50, Just look. You may see people trying to sell her for more. Don't spend $4 for her. Don't spend $4 for her. You can get her for cheaper than that. Just try to look through all the auctions, all the buy it nows and stuff. She's really nice. Underworld team ability that she can really use on multiple teams. 2 different play styles here as a very nice supportive probs defend piece and a really good offensive outwitter possible psychic blast piece. She is really, really nice. She brings a lot more to the table for 45 points. And that's exactly what you want from a piece that's going to be a support piece but also be like a secondary attacker or something. So I really like her. And the last piece I want to talk about is a common from the Avengers Black Panther Illuminati set 017 Voyager. She is 50 points. Now she is the most expensive piece on this list, and you're asking yourself, ooh, this is the only 50-point piece he's talking about. She must be good. And let me tell you this, she is good. She is really good. So I'm just going to preface this with saying she has the Power Cosmic Team ability. That gives her all kinds of benefits. That gives her willpower automatically. That gives her the ability to ignore Outwit when she's targeted by it. She can't be outwitted. She has willpower. Those are already two great effects of the Power Cosmic Team ability. Okay, so you see her Dow is kind of weird. She has like this thing on the last click. And what is that? Basically, at the beginning of the game, if the opponent's force includes an additional game element, that's like an ID card or a special object or maybe even special terrain or something like that, you can actually start her out on click number 0. It's actually click 12 on this thing, but it's literally click 0. So she gets an extra click of life if the opponent is actually playing any of those pieces. And that is actually much more common in competitive games, that your opponent's going to be playing some of those things because those things are busted, they're overpowered. Any kind of competitive game, you're going to see that thing. So you're in a competitive game, you're almost guaranteed to start out on click 0. So at that point she has 5 clicks of life, which is really nice. It does kind of change things a little bit because you may be planning to have Perplex with her. I guess it's maybe optional. No, it is not optional. You have to start her out on click 0 if they have that stuff. But, I mean, still, you're getting Outwit, which is probably a stronger power than Perplex is, even though Perplex is useful. So, she has access to Outwit or Perplex, depending on what click she starts out on. She has phasing. 0 range is okay, so she's not doing any range attacks, and she only has 1 damage. She's not really doing like any regular attacks. What is she doing? Well, she does have a trait, Avengers Assemble. She can carry 1 piece. Okay, she can carry 1 piece. That's something. It's kind of like giving her flight without giving her flight. But she can carry 3 pieces, passenger 3, but if they have to share a keyword with her. So she has Avengers, Cosmic, and Elders of the Universe. Avengers is a very nice keyword. Cosmic is a pretty freaking nice keyword too. So there's a good chance that she may be sharing a keyword with other people on her team. So in that case, she gets to carry 3 pieces. And she has phasing with a 14 movement on her first and second click. Meaning that she can carry those 3 pieces 11 squares through any kind of terrain, which is really nice. And on top of that, she can carry characters with flight or giant symbol. Normally you cannot carry flying characters unless they're smaller than you, like a wasp or something. But she can carry people. She can even carry giants. I think that's the fist symbol. No, that's colossal. The giant is like the giant, like the big man symbol. That would, I don't know. I don't know if any pieces right off the top of my head. But you know, that's really nice because normally you cannot carry people bigger than you, and normally you cannot carry people that are flying. She can carry both. She can't carry colossals, just point that out, but she can carry 3 people. That's super useful. So not only does she have access to Outwit and Perplex, and she can carry 3 people, and she's immune to Outwit, and she has willpower guaranteed, and she has decent ESD, but she also has Telekinesis. And that's not all. She has super telekinesis. I call it super telekinesis because normally with telekinesis, they design the power to have a restriction. Okay? If Jean Grey is going to pick up Cyclops and Jean Grey need to see where the heck he's going. She can't just throw him through a wall and be like, okay, there goes Scott. Boom, right through a wall. No. He needs to be, okay, put me up on that ledge, Jean. And normally that's how the power works. Whenever someone is TK'd, both the TKer and the person being placed, they both need to be able to see where the piece is going. And they need to have a direct line of fire, a clear line of fire to the spot. Or a non-blocked line of fire. That's probably a better way. It can be hindered. That's fine. Anyways, Voyager don't. As long as Voyager can see the person she is placing, neither her or the person or the other character need to see the square where they're going. the destination square. That's nuts. So she can literally throw Scott through a wall. Yeah, she can like, hey Scott, boom, run through a wall. And it don't even blow up the wall either. It's just like, run through a wall. Or she's like, hey Scott, fly off a building. Go see what's on the other side of that building. I don't even know what's over there. We can't see it, but go right through the building. It's crazy. It's super telekinesis. That's what I call it, because it breaks one of the main rules of telekinesis. It is really, really useful. It means like you can hang up on the back end of elevated, where your opponent's not going to be able to see you, and you can't see the opponent because they would have to get up on elevated to see you, and you would have to get up on the edge of elevated to see them down below you. And you can TK somebody through the elevation down to them and get the first hit. It is super useful. Even after she loses it, she still keeps regular telekinesis. This chick has a lot going on. This chick, the reason she's on this list, the reason I let her be on this list at 50 points is not only because she's cheap on eBay, she's like $1. Really, really decent. But she brings so much. She can have Outwit or Perplex. She can carry a bunch of pieces around. She has the Power Cosmic Team ability. And then she has the Super Telekinesis. I can't think of another piece on this list. I mean, Nico Minoru has a support power and telekinesis, but she has regular old telekinesis, and she can't carry people around either. I can't think of another piece on this list that brings as much to the game that Voyager does, and that's why I put her on the list at 50 points or less. There's not going to be anybody else but 50 points on this list. There is some honorable mentions I'll get into later, but she's just really, really good. And if you like Avengers, if you like cosmic pieces, get her, because she will be your linchpin. She will be your bread and butter that will make those teams work a little bit better. She's fantastic. So those were 10 pieces that I would recommend every single player, new, old, experienced, starting out brand new. Jump on eBay, get these. They're going to cost you $1, maybe a little bit more than $1 after shipping. Get them now. They are some of the best support pieces in the game as of January 2020. They are modern age legal. We may get some new pieces coming out later on that may warrant being on the list, but as of now, these are the 10 pieces I want everybody to get their hands on. I do have another honorable mentions of like 10 other pieces, but that'll probably be another video because we're up to 40 minutes on this video, and I just want to thank everybody for sticking with me through this 40-minute video, watching along. Thank you HC Realms for being an amazing Heroclix community that, this is where all the dial images come from. You see in a lot of Heroclix videos. Thank you HC Realms for being there for all these years. And thank you so much for watching this video. I hope to continue making some videos throughout the year. I'm doing this right before I go to work. I don't even know if I have time to eat something before I go to work, but I wanted to make some kind of video because I love to do this. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Have a lot of fun playing Heroclix. Bye-bye.